Hi friends. So in this section we learn about the nested loops. So nested loops are the loops inside the loops. They help us in the better way of the coding. So we'll understand we in the last section we have written the basic loops. So now to understand the nested loops you should know how the basic loops work. So we'll write a nested loop example to know to write it in a better way to understand that how the nested loop works. So I am declaring two variables vnum1 and number and vnum2. So these are the two variables I have declared outside the loop, and I am assigning a constant value to them here only. So instead of declaring it again, so I've assigned them a constant value here only in the declare part. So first loop I have started. Like the if and end if, the loop and end loop also works as same. The first end loop it gets is the ending of that loop. So it works on the same condition how the if and end if works. So loop, then v num 1 is equal to v num plus 1. Make it a 0 only. So this is the first loop. Let's write a dbms output to see what is the result of the first loop. dbms underscore output dot put underscore line. So this is the outer loop. Inside this loop we'll write one another loop, outer loop, concatenate with the vnum1. So we are changing the value of vnum1 here, so we'll write vnum1, and then the another loop which is the inner loop. So for that we have the another variable vnum2. So now vnum is equal to vnum plus vnum2 is equal to vnum2 plus 1, not 1 plus 1, so 2 plus 1. Then again the dbms underscore output. So this is the inner loop. I'll change over here. This is the inner loop and the result is vnum2. And exit when vnum2 equals to 3. Then end loop. So for this inner loop, this end loop is the first end. So this will consider that the loop will end over here only. So now again we are writing the exit of the outer loop. Exit when vnum1 is equal to 5, and then the end loop. So now you can see that this is the inner loop which we have written, and this is the outer loop. Inside the outer loop there is one inner loop which is working according to the outer loop. So you can see the result. When you would see the result, you would understand that how the inner loop works according to the outer loop. So let me execute it first, then we'll see the result. So there's some error we haven't mm, let's see the error is at line number 14. So what is the error? It's saying, oh, so we have ended the loop but not the end statement. So end is missing. Begin, for the begin we have not make the end, so that is missing over here. That's the common thing, but when you'll write the code you will understand that how it's working. So now you can see the result. First the outer loop will start, then it will go to the inner loop. Inner loop has 1 2 3, then again the outer loop starts, then it goes to the inner loop. So inner loop is now 4 5 6 because the variable has some value stored inside it. So let's make it a short one so that we the result could be a smaller one and you can understand it in a better way. So let's exit this when the vnum is equal to 2 and vnum1 is equal to 3. Now you can see that inner loop, outer loop starts at 1, then inner loop is equal to 1, inner loop 2 works, then outer loop 2, then inner loop again 3 and inner loop 4, then inner loop 5 6 7, because we have written that exit when vnum is equal to 2. So but when vnum started at 3 only, then the 2 doesn't come, so it has not exit and the loop is infinite over here. So we need to change our code here. I would write here that vnum is greater than equal to 2, and one more thing, I'll assign this vnum equal to 2 inside the loop rather than outside, so that would help us, or be remain we'll remain it like this only, and we'll check the code, then we'll change it and then we'll again execute with another code. So now you can see in the code, the vnum is 0, then at the starting it will comes to 1 and there is one another loop, and if the vnum is greater than or equal to 2 then it would end the loop. So now I'll execute the loop. Now you can see that in the previous one you can see that the result is multiple times because the loop was infinite over there. the iterations are infinite. The reason was vnum was never equal to 2 in the second time when the loop starts. So I hope you get that. Now, when it starts, outer loop is 1, then inner loop is 1 and 2 again. Then outer loop comes to 2 and inner loop is 3 now. But as we have already written that if the vnum is greater than 2, then it will come out of loop simply. It would not iterate it. So now the it again goes to the outer loop. Outer loop is 3, but there is no result for the inner loop as the result is already greater than 2. So it hasn't displayed the any result. It has checked at the starting that is it greater than 2. Yeah, it is. So it get out of the result and it has not displayed you the result. But the result would be something else if I would declare this vnum inside the inner loop. So let's do that and see what the result is. Let's assign vnum is equal to 0, vnum 2. So here when every times the loop second loop will start, it will iterate and the and sets the vnum 2 as the 0. So let's see the result. The result is now something else. Now the inner loop is 1, outer loop is 1, then inner loop is 1 and 2. Then outer loop 2, inner loop again 1 and 2. Then outer loop 3, inner loop again 1 and 2. So now you can see this is something else result by changing only the position of the variable. The result was something else when you have written only here is equal to 2. The result was something else when you have written greater than equal to 2. So every time the result will be something else. So it's the only need is that to understand that the how the loop is working, how many times it's iterating and how it is going through. So I hope now you are clear with this thing that how it is going in a infinite iterations, how it is iterating first outer loop then again inner loop, and then if the variable is declared outside the loop, then if it is declared inside the loop. So you can try it by different methods to understand it in a more in a way, in a more good way. To you should practice more and write more to understand that how it will works. Thanks.